We'd like to thank all the different manufacturers that came out, but first and foremost, we want to introduce you all to Jan Haldeman, who is our builder. Jan, if you would grace us with your presence. This guy was the first person we asked about this project. So you've all asked me several questions about how's it been going and what's the biggest challenge. If it wasn't for the general being sold into this whole process, none of this would happen. So he was able to talk to his subcontractors and get them all on board. So we had a opening ground ceremony, and he was able to bring out all of his subcontractors who were going to be involved in the project, and had them all say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it." So without him, none of this would have been possible.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah. Also, a shout out to Marcy, who's been invaluable for us along the process. Marcy Sudan is our interior designer. She's kind of, in a sense, somewhat of Jan's right-hand person. When we have so much going on in our lives as far as our careers, we have to have someone else other than Jan to kind of get through some of our design elements, but also keep track of our scheduling and those type of things going out. So without Marcy, of course, we would also be deep in the weeds, deep doo-doo, because she kept us on track. And so Renee and her work very hard together on things, and I know they nicknamed me the design assistant, but truly it was their kind of gig. I just was along for the ride. Some of the manufacturers you guys, I'm not sure you know about. First one,
Sid and Roger are from Andersen Windows. And
hi everybody, we're here with Sil from Andersen Windows and Doors, and we're so thrilled to have them a part of our project and how much of American-made company and products they are. Talk about a carbon footprint. They really do a great job reducing a lot of the waste they use. So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about your company.
We have 13 factories. The mothership, or the biggest factory, would be located in Minnesota, where it all started. So we basically have 5 complete different product lines. The product line that you use, you've got a combination with these doors. This would be a 400 series product line. The windows would be 100 series. But we do make 200 series, we make an A series and an E series. So quite an array of products, a lot of options and selections based off price points.
Yeah. We're thrilled with some of the options that we did get, and the doors, the way the windows, the type of materials used on the windows to keep the UV lights. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, what's interesting is that there's so many technologies worldwide, and being an American-made manufactured window company, sometimes we get pulled outside the country for German engineering with hardware that might go on our doors. But we can kind of modify those products and make them American-made in time. That would be some of the challenges. But what's unique is each product that we made has its advantages and disadvantages to some aspect. This market's very price sensitive from a window category. If you grow up in Minnesota, people aren't fearful of spending a lot for a window because the climate's much more severe. But it actually costs more to heat and cool a house in California. Those cooling costs cost more than the heating costs in Minnesota.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't understand a high-priced window or a window that's very energy efficient really pays for itself in this market quite a bit,
Right.
pretty fast. So all of what we try to do is manage materials as they expand and contract with temperature changes, and how that all integrates with glass, with hardware, with composite, with wood, with aluminum, with vinyl. Gets pretty tricky, but I think over the 110 years we've figured a lot of that stuff out pretty well.
Great. Talk to us a little bit about the deployment that you guys do for the United States and how this project is important for you.
Well, what's important is that with 9,000 people, 9,000 families, we certainly want to grow that number as a company. We're the world's largest wood window maker, but we still have a lot of room to grow. There's over 4,000 window companies in the country, so it's very competitive. But we've always had green in our DNA to make environmentally friendly products. And that goes way back many years ago. In terms of waste factor, we've always managed our waste and reclaimed it or reused it. So there's a lot of history that gets into those stories. which we're excited about, and we build our company based off of that. So I guess, you know, like with this door here, it's, you won't find a door like this anywhere in the country. It has many patents to it in design, and it's been out for almost 20 years now. But it started out with some German hardware needed here because this technology wasn't available in the country. But today it's made in the United States. But it has equalization chambers in the door that manages airflow. When you build homes as tight as you do today, there's a lot of negative pressure in the home. When the wind blows at this door in the winter storm, there's a vacuum effect that's trying to draw water in around the panels into the house. So we have an equalization chamber that goes around the perimeter of the door, and when the water tries to get to this weather strip, it won't even touch it. It'll drop to the bottom of the sill and drain outward, really keeping this weather strip dry no matter how hard it rains. So pretty unique engineering, and you know, a great design that's proven itself for the last 20 years.
That's cool. I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
now I know that to keep you dry.
Yeah, and then like with your 100 series windows here, we're using reclaimed sawdust and we're using PVC, and there's 32 patents just involved in the extrusion of that product. But it becomes a lot stronger as a window. It's a lot more stable. It doesn't move as much, therefore allowing us to go with a dark bronze color on the exterior. And if you were to go outside and touch that window, I mean, it's so hot your fingers, you can keep them on the window right now. So the substrates and the inner components, a lot of engineering needs to come into play when windows get into these environments. So we're pretty confident with that as well.
It sounds so sophisticated, but
There's
people
a lot
think
more-
it's like doors and windows. Really?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. Glass, another thing too, I guess I'll expand on is as homes use more glass within their structures. Years ago, you used to have hot rooms and cool rooms. Well, today you'll notice that as this home, as you live in it, doesn't matter what room you're in, whether it's one window or 10 windows, the rooms are all going to be the same temperature. And a lot has to do with how the glass reflects heat to the outside, how the inner pane stays more closer to the room temperature. But low emissivity glazings have come a long way. So it all has to work together.
Great.